Hey yo, what's good? It's your man Wally, the Southern Kid with the city swag, coming to let you know one thing and one thing only. This is not a drill, baby. This is not a drill. MX Sunday Soul episode 4 was so bomb, we had to make this thing 4 parts, man. B Slade, let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Wally, the Southern Kid with the city swag, coming at you with another episode of MX Sunday Soul. And right here, I have the amazing B Slade. How you doing, man?
Well, I am cautiously enthusiastic.
I feel that. I think I know. I think I definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I get it. I definitely get it. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy week.
This week has been a crazy century, for sure.
Yeah. That's about right. That's about right, man. You got a lot of good things going for you as far as your career right now. Out of the Box 2 is coming soon. Tell us more about how long that you've actually been pulling Out of the Box 2 together. Out of the Box, the original Out of the Box was so amazing, but let's talk about that, how long you've been pulling it together, and also how long is it gonna take for us to actually, hear all of it.
Get the new one?
Yeah.
Well, I released 10 singles from it already.
Yes.
So like every day, every week, every other day, just something else, just to give you hors d'oeuvres of what's to come. Yeah, but those songs are the least of everyone's concerns and worries. Like what's on the album is so much more. It's just like a interactive piece. But I've been working on it since 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, but the idea came to me around 2013 is when I first kind of like thought about the possibility of even thinking about dealing with a sequel, because it's such an ambitious project. Like Out the Box, the franchise is something you have to live up to. You can't match it, but you at least have to live up to what the first one did and then push past that for whatever God has to say now. Because the first one, if you play it now, it's super prophetic. Like it's right on time with everything that's happening right now. So I thought it was going to come out last year, honestly, last summer. That's what I was pushing for. And then I was like, no, it's not time yet. It's like, there's going to be a specific event that happens that you're going to launch this whole thing with. But you couldn't have told me it was going to be a civil war and a global pandemic simultaneously.
Wow. Yeah, I saw you speaking a lot on your Instagram lives this week. Pretty much just being vocal about everything that's going on in the climate, the racial climate in America. Definitely, we're gonna get to that. But let's talk a little bit about just your whole discography, man. You drop so much music and you drop it so fast. Like, what is it that just keeps you being a constant machine?
We're gonna get to that question in a second after we discuss this shirt with the matching backdrop. So you did it.
Yo, okay. So this is my fourth episode. This is my fourth episode, and I was like, all right, now I don't know what B Slade gonna come on here with, but I gotta at least come 50%. So I was like, oh, I got the shirt in the back wall. You know what I'm saying? So I tried.
That's fresh.
Make
That's
it
super fresh.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, like urban chic referee realness.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's also jail and racial tension.
Yeah,
there's a lot of messages here.
All right. Oh, hey, mate. I don't know.
I got the Republicans versus the Democrats going on behind me, but
I see you.
I'm a brown brother
and
black,
and the melanin right on your skin. We in tune tonight, man.
Shining our lights, man.
Oh yeah,
the way we need to be.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yo, ask your question again. Now let's try it again.
All right. So I forgot the question.
I forget mine all the time. I'll be starting talking about something and then Bert walks somewhere else. It's all good.
Oh, talking about how fast, being a machine, constantly just, putting music
But now
out.
stuff, oh yes.
Yeah.
Daily for me, people are like, oh, you need to slow it down. I was like, okay, well, do you slow it down every day when you wake up to go shower, or when you brush your teeth? Like it's a daily thing for you. Mm-hmm. Music is a daily thing for me. It's not just something that comes, every 3 or 4 years and I get a certain splurge of inspiration. Every day I'm coming up with something new. There was a time earlier this year where I wasn't making anything, and then last year there was a time for like 3 months it wasn't that I wasn't inspired. I just think I needed a selah. I just needed a little break because my output level is just super, super high. But now it's back cranking again. Once I had a chance to kind of regroup and live life a little bit, step back and just hear what God wants to say right now, because it's really not about career ambitions at all now.
Right.
It's about career intention.
Right.
Why am I releasing this single? Why am I releasing this album? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Because right now, all the frivolous things that we could be talking about make no sense to be talking about right now. Absolutely none. Not saying you can't have your turn up moments and, where you, I guess, boogie down and dance and, party, whatever, as much as you can during the quarantine. But for me personally, right now as an artist, I feel it's my responsibility to be intentional about everything I do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Because nothing else makes any sense. You're wasting time.
Redeem.
And a lot of celebrities are quiet, and actors are so quiet. It's just like, I'm really surprised at the energy, because it's like you have so much that you've always popping off, like on Twitter, you're always popping off on Instagram, always popping off in your stories. And now when something of like actual importance, all of the Black allies, just super quiet, like really next level up, I guess upper echelon Black artists too, kind of playing it safe. Like it's like, well, I don't know what you're protecting. I don't know if it's PR or management, but at this point, I'm not saying everybody got to get out there and protest, but I do feel like you should be saying something of substance with whatever you're writing right now, and having some of those proceeds or the attention or the platform drawing attention to the matters at hand.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, why are you? There's nothing else to really talk about right now except what's popping right now. So I'm not saying everyone has to be a recording activist like I can be when it's time to be. But if there's any time for a recording artist or a poet or a dancer to flex their superpowers, now is the time to let that light shine.
Yeah.
More than ever, because it's so dark right now. It only takes just a little bit of light to change somebody's life.
Right.
Save someone's life in some cases.
Yeah. You actually called out a few people. I saw that live. I was in the barbershop. I was saw you Justin Timberlake, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Katy Perry.
Yes.
You called them out. And I don't know if they still have said anything yet.
I just feel like they need to. There should be something said. Shout out to Taylor Swift. She came through. She really said what needed to be said. Shout out to Elizabeth Warren. She said what needed to be said. Everybody knows what's going on, but I can see everyone trying to be politically correct when we're already past politically correctness.
Yeah.
That ended once you crossed that line. So I'm saying, with all of your millions of followers and all of the Black influence that a lot of these artists benefit from culturally and commercially, sometimes more than the actual Black artists themselves, their white counterparts, for some reason, of course, just seem to receive way more success, way more money, higher earnings in touring, higher percentages, in merchandise sales or whatever. And someone could say, well, that's their attorney, that's their management. But no, there's something about how they enjoy, and I'm not speaking of those four specifically, but in general, it seems that artists that benefit as allies musically from Black artists, when it comes time to stand up for the rights of those same artists that give them their platform and have made them rich behind the scenes and writing these songs and producing these beats and playing in the band behind y'all, when it comes to you getting behind us, you quiet. And I have a problem with that. So I wasn't calling them out as if they haven't done it or they aren't going to do it, but everyone's entirely too slow for my taste.
And too slow and too quiet. You wrote Redeemed from the Quarantine.
Yes. I feel like that song is how you face a current dilemma in a soothing way. I was trying to soothe folks. I was trying to at the time it was happening, there was a lot of anxiety about that. We've adjusted to it psychologically a lot better now because we've had some weeks to kind of deal with it. But that fear and anxiety of just going on my Twitter, the first line of the song, you know, I had to delete my Twitter because it seemed like something was going wrong every 3 seconds. And it was starting to trigger post-traumatic stress syndrome, which I hadn't dealt with in over 15 years. Whoa. So you have to be mindful of that. So I was like, well, how do I make a song that encourages people while they're in it, not just telling them the Lord's going to bring them out or hold on, the sunshine's going to come out later. No, what song do you sing while you're in it? So let the redeemed of the quarantine, based off the scripture, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, who've been snatched out of the hand of the enemy. Well, let the redeemed of the quarantine say so.
Yes.
And what? Like, this is our secret place moment. This is our Selah moment. I said, God put the world on a timeout. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and so, you know, as quickly as it all came in, all of the noise is going to be drowned out.
And do you think now is that time? Do you think, because a lot of people have gotten on social media this morning, I saw it this morning, they said, and just like that, poof, COVID-19 is gone from the gone, completely.
Gone.
Ain't nobody talking about how many people died today or nothing. And I'm in New York, so you know
you're in the heat of it.
Yeah.
And shout out to your city. I have so many friends and family that are there. I can only imagine, you know, just even though you're in it, people think that, oh, you're fine. You know, that stuff's traumatic after a while. You know, just y'all are at the heart of everything. And I just want y'all to know that there's people out here on the Fresh Coast that we are praying. We understand. We are just as concerned as you are. And we just wish the best, just praying the best, God's safety and Godspeed to you guys.
I completely identify with, even though you said you experienced it on Twitter, just me going outside day to day. I mean, in the early stages when they first announced that New York City was the epicenter, going outside and my new reality and I'm 31. So I'm not, you know, I'm still young, but my new reality being we all have these masks on, like everywhere we look. You know, we can't even go into stores. We're outside, and I mean, I couldn't even go get wave grease. I had to stand in the line at the beauty supply store. You know,
and we must have that.
Yo, man, it's been crazy.
For real.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But just like you said in your song, even before, you know, you said as soon as it comes, it's gonna disappear the same. I feel it. I feel it within the next week. It's just in the next month, people not even gonna really.
It's not even gonna be a thing, really, because when you think about it, there's a lot of sheep out there. You know, there's not a lot of followers, not a lot of leaders, a lot of followers. You know, so you have to like do your due diligence. Like before I repost things or even post things, I fact check because you'll be thinking you're doing a good thing, but it's something that's been put together for propaganda to mislead people or to have you look like an idiot because you didn't do your fact checking. So in that same regard, it's like I'm very intentional about who am I affiliating with right now. This is creatively, I don't know, let's link up, you know, we got to get up, man, you know, the studio talk, you know, gotta link up, doc, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we linking up for? Because how can two walk together except they agree? What do we agree on? What components do we agree, and so we can walk together through this collaboration? Because I don't have any extra oil for anyone else's lamp in this time. Whoa. If you notice it, like everybody right now, you only have enough mental capacity and emotional stability for one's own lamp. It's not a selfish thing, but I can't be a help to somebody else if I'm in a deficit, creatively, spiritually, intellectually. So I'm very intentional about the energy space and I've always been that way, but even more so now. I have welcomed the quarantine because it's made my art more concentrated. Like the music I've been making since being quarantined is like what you've been hearing me put out is like it's laser focused now. Like it's not that I didn't have a direction before, but now it's even more intentional because of what has to be done in this time. And I just hope to God that people, you notice the artists that don't really make music, that don't have anything to say as it is, don't have anything to say in life. At all. You notice that? It's because it's like there's only so much, and you have to have your silly, stupid turn up ratchet kangaroo songs. I have them myself. Ketchup and mustard. The list goes on and on.
Yo.
But go ahead. No, go ahead.
Nah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say ketchup and mustard. That's
I love that one.
Yeah. I just heard it yesterday for the first time. But go ahead.
And I love Lex Lou on there too. Who shout out to her for always putting that heat on everything that we've ever collaborated on. But it's always been something that I have done. But even more so now, I'm just encouraging people like soul search and use this time of sabbatical and pause to reflect on the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, everybody be popping off trying to get likes and clout, but now that there's something for you to run your mouth about, it's like crickets.
Yeah.
So maybe you aren't the one who posts. Maybe you're not someone who puts it out like that way. Okay, well then find a way lyrically, or find a way poetically, or find a way liturgically, or find a way, you know, artistically to speak to the people during this time. Because honestly, the main population is looking for artists, because we come off like, hey, we up here, y'all need to look up to us, but we need to have something. What are you saying? Now that you got my attention, now that you got all these hundreds of millions of people paying attention to you, now what do you have to say? That you're the dopest or something, or that I sold this many records, or I have this type of shoe now? What is that doing for the edification of the average white and black person who is pro BLM? What fuel is that giving us to continue the good fight of faith against racism and discrimination? That doesn't always mean what's going on. Sometimes it means you make something so creative that it distracts us from the protests and the COVID and the Civil War. Like, you make something so dope it helps us to escape it.
Yeah.
It's not always addressing it, but make something that's going to be like so dope that I forgot I was worried about getting killed today. I forgot I was worried about getting shot today. You know what I mean? And it's really that serious right now. There's no guarantee the protesters are safe.
Nope. And they're live in New York City right now. So when you say not always approaching it and somewhat giving us something to get our minds off of it, is that something that we can definitely expect from Out of the Box too?
There's both on there. There's stuff that is very thought-provoking. It's a rated PG-13 album. There's no like curse words or anything like that in there, but it's very intense. So it's Out the Box 2, separation of the church and state. The church side is very Public Enemy-esque, very urgent, severe, just super severe, and it's very cinematic. There's some bops on the on that first side too, on church side, like Redeemed of the Quarantine and things of that nature, that's super smooth. But the messages of the first side of the album, which is the church side, is just super political. It's polarizing. It's shocking. It's inspiring, because you haven't heard production or beats like these. And in some, you're like, hey, this is something that sounds like it's today, but I've never heard it done quite like this. But the lyrical content and the scriptural content, it's like an interactive Bible study from beginning to end, with scriptures that guide you through the whole experience. But in a message Bible type way, not King James version way, in a way that a kid could understand it. But I had it at PG-13 because some of the sound effects and some of the choices that the listener has to make in the album, it's an interactive album. So you can either pause it or you can go forward. Or if you want a particular outcome, you skip this track to get to track number 8, which is that outcome. If you chose a different outcome, you got to go to track 6. So you actually have choices to figure out how your life ends up within this interactive album. And that's one of the things I think is going to really stand out to people, is the choices they have to make within the record. They're not just voyeur or observer. They're an active participant in a living organism of a project. Once you turn it on, it gives you that option, like, yo, you can stop right now and get off this ride. And it lets you pause. Now, if you decide to continue, okay, are you sure? because there's choices you got to make through this journey. So that's the part I'm excited about, is that it's breaking the fourth wall between myself and the listener. I always try to put people in the mix, not just listen to the album or listen back to the song. I want them to feel, even the mix, the listener feels like they're inside of a situation, not just looking at it or hearing it.
All right. That's all the time we have for today on MX Sunday. So check us out next week for part 2 of our interview with B Slade. And just before you go, make sure you go down there, right down there underneath the video, click that subscribe button. I know you see it. Like, comment, and share. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.